Ladies and gentlemen, and my dear friends, welcome to Tata Crucible, the Campus Quiz 2021. This year, the Campus Quiz is going to be an entirely digital experience. Thousands of you have been part of the preliminary rounds, from which we are now down to the 24 cluster rounds. The stage is set, and it just does not get bigger than this. Presenting the wild cards at the cluster rounds is the only lady professional quiz host across Asia, a lady who was among 40 under 40 in the year 2020 in that list. A prolific host, no new face to Tata Crucible. Time for you to welcome on stage Miss Rashmi Furtado.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and all you quizzers. Welcome to Tata Crucible Campus Quiz 2021. We have had thousands of students who have taken part in this quiz. They've gone through multiple rounds of prelim, and now we have started the wildcard rounds. Stage is set for the 24 cluster finals, but of course, to qualify to the cluster final, we have these wildcard rounds. From every wildcard, 3 will qualify to the cluster final, meaning every cluster final has 2 wildcards. The winner of the cluster final will move on to the zonal final, and the winner of the zonal final will subsequently move on to the national final. And the winners there will move on to the internationals. Most of you know this format of the quiz. The only change this time being the entire quiz is on a digital platform for the very first time. And I think that's very important for us in today's scenario. All of you are taking part individually and from the comforts and safety of your homes. Today, we are going to be continuing with our Kerala clusters. If I'm not wrong, yes, our cluster number 4, which is Kerala, the first wildcard. Let me introduce our wildcard contestants to you and then move on to the rules of the game. First up, we have Naman from IIM Kozhikode. That's Naman for you. Following him is Shubham from IIM Kozhikode again. Up next is Dhanush from IIM Kozhikode. I think it's safe for me to say all these students are from IIM Kozhikode, so I don't repeat every now and then. Rhythm following Dhanush there. Following him is Manjeet. And completing this lineup today is Vidhi. So IIM Kozhikode dominating this wildcard round here. So 3 of you will make it to the cluster finals. Remember that, which means IIM Kozhikode has a safe spot in the cluster finals here today. All right, let me move into the rules of the game. First up, we have 10 questions for you here today. All the 10 questions are on the buzzers. Single attempt per question. Multiple attempts are not allowed, which means the same person or any other person cannot attempt on the question that has been asked once. Okay? +1 if you get it right, -1 if you get it wrong. I've already told you that 3 of you will be qualifying to the cluster final. Nothing appears on your screen, so you will have to listen to what I have to say. If you press the buzzer while I'm still reading out the question, I will stop reading the question because you are indicating to me that you know the answer. All right, so be very careful when you press the buzzer. Once you press the buzzer, I will call out your name, the one who's pressed the buzzer first, and you will have to immediately unmute yourself and give me the answer. You cannot press the buzzer and then think about the answer. Only when you know the answer, please press the buzzer. This entire process has to happen within 3 to 5 seconds. Don't take too long after you have pressed the buzzer to give me the answer. Every question will stay valid for about 5 seconds. If none of you press the buzzer in those 5 seconds, I will move on to the next question, since the time would have lapsed for the previous question. All these rules have been put in place, guys, just to ensure fair play, since quizzing has now moved onto a digital platform. Of course, all of you, while we start our quiz, I require all of you to keep your phones in the camera angle so it's visible to us. Their phones are today working as their buzzers. So it's very important for us to see that they are operating their buzzers through their phones. For all you audience questions will be asked during the cluster final. And also, the buzzer indicator light will not be appearing during the wildcard, but I will be announcing the name of the person who has pressed the buzzer. All right, let's move on to the questions of this wildcard. 10 questions, guys. Remember that. Also, please remember, this is about qualifying to that cluster final. Winning this wildcard does not matter. Qualifying to the cluster is what matters the most. Okay? Keep that in mind. Also, the buzzers, guys, are very, very sensitive. A light touch will activate the buzzers. And if your name appears here on the list, right on top, you will have to give me an answer. At that point in time, you cannot tell me I pressed the buzzer by mistake. Okay, so be very careful with that. Let's start this wildcard round. Question number 1 of this wildcard. Here we go. Which Swiss food and beverage brand owns Maggi noodles? Shubham on the buzzer. Go ahead.
Nestle.
+1 to you. Absolutely right. Every hostel student will know Maggi noodles very well. Moving on, question number 2. Soul is a 2020 animated movie which is about a musician's life through life, death, and life again. All I need you to tell me the name of the company who produced the movie. Vidhi, go ahead.
Disney Pixar.
Disney Pixar, giving her a +1. Beautiful answer there by Vidhi, giving her a +1. Moving to question number 3. Which Indian pharmaceutical company was started by Kiran Mazumdar Shah? Shubham again, go ahead.
Biocon.
Biocon, giving him a +1. All right, moving to question number 4. Here we go. Xerxes Desai and Bhaskar Bhatt are former MDs. Naman, go ahead.
Titan.
Titan, giving him a +1 there. Very good answer there by Naman. Moving on, question number 5. Here we go. Arvind Krishna is the new global CEO. Rhythm, go ahead.
IBM.
+1 to you. Absolutely right. IBM, giving him a +1. Moving on, question number 6. डर सबको लगता है, गला सबका सूखता है. Shubham, go ahead.
डर सबको लगता है is Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew, +1 to you. Absolutely right. Shubham, if I'm not wrong, is now on +3 there. I think it's safe to say he's moved to the cluster finals unless he messes it up for himself and takes multiple negatives. But smiling that I don't think he's going to do anything of that sort. Moving on, question number 7. Here we go. Which brand of ice cream was founded by Rose and Ruben Mattis? Rose and Ruben Mattis. Ice cream brand, global ice cream brand, guys. Oh, 5 seconds of time is up. Rhythm, I'm sorry, I just said the time is up. No points, but you can try.
Is it Haagen-Dazs?
Would have given you a +1 had you pressed the buzzer little early. Trust yourself, Rhythm. You're a good quizzer. I've seen you quizzing. Trust yourself. Let's clear the buzzer. Moving on. Question number 8. Which brand traces its origin to Bank American, a credit card program launched by Bank of America in 1958? Your options, Visa or Amex. Rhythm, go ahead.
American Express.
I think he took a chance there. -1, Rhythm. Visa would have given you a +1. I think Bank American and Amex, American Express, is what confused you over there. Question number 9. Here we go. The best a man can get was a campaign run by Rhythm. Go ahead.
Gillette.
+1 to you. Absolutely right. Getting a +1 there. The last question of this wild card. Here we go. Tata Power Delhi Distribution Company was formerly known as NDPL? Naman, go ahead.
NDPL, North Delhi Power Limited.
+1 to you. Absolutely right, Naman, getting a +1 on that. He's on +2 if I'm not wrong. So Naman and Shubham are through to the cluster final. But I have a tiebreaker between Vidhi and Rhythm now, who are both on 1 apiece. Sudden death, please remember that. I will ask you questions one after the other. One of you gets it right, you move it to the cluster final. You get it wrong, the other one moves into the cluster final. Okay? All right, good luck, do well. Okay. What does L in LIBOR stand for? Rhythm, go ahead.
London Interbank Offering Rate. London.
He knows the entire acronym. Absolutely right. +1 to you. With that, ladies and gentlemen, Rhythm has qualified to the cluster final along with Naman and Shubham. Thank you so much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. But stay tuned. Wildcard 2 is coming up in a couple of minutes. See you there. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and all you enthusiastic quizzers. Welcome to Tata Crucible Campus Quiz 2021. Today, we are going to have the second wild card of the Kerala cluster. Many faces here who we already know. I think many repeated quizzers who are here with us today, familiar faces, but there are some newcomers too. Let me introduce all of them to you and then move into the rules of the game. Guys, when I introduce you, just please wave and smile, that'll help. First up, we have Nancy from IIM Kozhikode. Following Nancy is Stephen from National University of Advanced Legal Studies. Up next is Parth from IIM Kozhikode. Palak from IIM Kozhikode. Following him is Saurav from QSAT. And completing our lineup is Sarvesh from IIM Kozhikode. All right, good luck to all of you. Let's see whom among you qualify to the cluster final. Question number 1 of this wild card, here we go. Which Chinese entity has substantial investment in the IPL 2020 title sponsor? Stephen is on the buzzer. Go ahead, Stephen.
Vivo. Vivo.
Vivo, giving him a -1. The answer I was looking for was Tencent. Tencent would have given you that +1. Moving on to the second question of this wildcard. Here we go. In 1951, Lacoste expanded from dash white to color shirts. Fill in the blanks with the sport for which they supplied white. Palak, go ahead.
Tennis.
Tennis, giving him a +1. Absolutely right. Tennis white is what they used to call it back then. Moving on, question number 3. Here we go. Which Tata company is a joint venture of Tata and Star and is committed to build? Saurav, go ahead.
Tata Consumer.
Giving you a -1, Saurav. I was going to continue saying committed to build a state-of-the-art digital infrastructure for pay television in India. Tata Sky would have given you a +1. Question number 4. Here we go. Post-it is a brand created by whom? Palak, go ahead.
3M.
+1 on that. Clear answer. 3M giving him another +1. Moving on. Question number 5. Which vehicle from the Tata Group is named after a great leader named Sumant Mulgaonkar?
Tata Sumo.
Tata Sumo giving Palak another +1. If I'm not wrong, Palak is currently on a +3, I think. Yes, he's on a +3. Moving on, question number 6. Here we go. Good Earth is a brand owned by which Tata? Stephen, go ahead. Stephen, you're on the buzzer.
Tata Consumer.
+1 to you. Absolutely right. Tata Consumer giving him a +1. Moving on, question number 7. Here we go. Which company did Ravji Bhai Patel? Stephen, go ahead.
Orpat.
Arpad giving him another +1. Doing well for himself. He has quickly negated the -1 that he has. And if I'm not wrong, is in the positives already. Moving on, question number 8 of this wildcard. Here we go. It was formed as the Upton Machine Company in 1911. Palak, go ahead.
Whirlpool.
+1. Beautiful answer. Whirlpool giving him a +1. 2 more questions remaining. Question number 9. Here we go. Hindalco belongs to which corporate group? Saurav, go ahead.
Birla Group.
Could you repeat, Saurav?
Aditya Birla Group. Aditya Birla Group.
Aditya Birla giving him a +1 on that. Good answer there. The last question of this round. Here we go. It was known as Marathon in United Kingdom till Palak, go ahead.
Snickers.
Snickers. He's absolutely right. One of my favorite chocolates, and he gets a +1 on that. With this, ladies and gentlemen, Palak has qualified to the cluster final along with Stephen from Newells. Both of them have qualified to the cluster final. But there is a third spot remaining, and I now have to have a tiebreaker. Nancy, Parth, Saurav, and Sarvesh, all of you are on nil, which means all of you are on the tiebreaker. Okay? Sudden death, guys. Okay? I will ask you one question after the others. I will ask you questions. You press the buzzer, you get it right, you get the last spot. You press the buzzer, get it wrong. The other 3 will continue to play for the last spot. Okay? Good luck. All right. Tiebreaker question number 1. Here we go. Versa, Baleno, Grand Vitara, Kizashi, and 1000 are all Saurav. Go ahead.
Maruti Suzuki cars basically.
+1 to you. Absolutely right. Getting a +1 on that is Saurav, and he now qualifies to the cluster final of the Kerala cluster. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Stephen, Palak, and Saurav make it to the cluster final. Don't go anywhere. The cluster final is coming up in a couple of minutes. Trust me, you're going to enjoy it. Stay tuned.
Friends, put your hands together to welcome on stage Quizmaster Big Brain.
Hello and a warm welcome to each and every one of you. You're with me, Big Brain, here today in the Kerala cluster final of Tata Crucible for Campuses 2021. After watching some riveting finals from Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, we're going further south now into Kerala. After those 2 amazing rounds that we witnessed with Rashmi here, these are the 6 that have qualified into this cluster final after those wildcards. Let me first begin by introducing them to you, and then the rules, and then we get playing with the Kerala final of this quiz. First up, qualifying into the Kerala cluster final here today, representing IIM Kozhikode, is Naman. Welcome, Naman, to this final to you. As we move across to yet another room, perhaps at IIM Kozhikode here today, as Shubham joins us as our second finalist from the same institute. Welcome, Shubham. Moving across to another qualifier from IIM Kozhikode is rhythm, as IIM dominates this cluster round. Logically, at Kerala, they do well, and giving them the comfort to take part from where they do, the numbers have been huge. Coming up next, yet another institute that does very well at quizzes at Tata Crucible is Newell's. The law students from that university, Stephen representing them today as our next contestant. As our fifth finalist here today, again representing IIM Kozhikode, we have with us Palak as our fifth finalist. Welcome, Palak, to the final. And completing our lineup here today from a very reputed university from Kerala, representing QSAT, is Saurav. Welcome, Saurav, to this final. Those then, ladies and gentlemen, are six finalists here today in the Kerala cluster of Tata Crucible. 24 questions is what separates them from the one individual that will go into the nation's top 24. For now, 100 the value of an answer. If they get it right, they get 100. They get it wrong, they get a minus 100. Only one attempt with 5 seconds. The window of opportunity on each question to them. We've tested their buzzers, done their sanity checks. Time for us to get started. As I request all of you to please hold your buzzers up. And time for us to get moving into the first frontier of our battle from Kerala here today. It's time to get swifter. Here it comes. Shubham, if you could just hold the camera a little to your left, Shubham. Little more, that's okay. If I just see one small part of it, that's good for me. Because you're really close to the camera. Yeah, that's fine, Shubham. Oh, lovely. Okay, that's a great position. Time for us to get started with the first frontier of our battle. Time for us to get swifter with the Kerala cluster. You know the rules, you know the scores. The first question on your screens, hands on the buzzer. Here it comes. Feluda is the name or an acronym of a detection assay that was created by a particular company which indigenously created COVID-19 testing mechanisms by associating with the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. It's a Tata venture that created this COVID-19 solution for India. Which Tata company are we talking about? Someone's gone for it. Naman's gone for it.
Yes, I'm audible.
Yeah, Naman, go ahead.
So it's Tata Health MD. Tata MD, it's also called. So it's Tata Health MD.
Well played on that one. He'll get the first 100 and that 100 going to Naman. All right, so Naman gets 100 as we go to the second question here today. 100 to him. Early start on Tata MD. Tata Medical and Diagnostics Limited, a very innovative company in the current circumstances. Question number 2 on screen now. Which FMCG company, known more as a laboratory or labs, owns P-Shine? Palak Kumar is giving it a shot. Go ahead, Palak.
Is this Jyoti Laboratories?
Well played. He'll get 100. Time for us to move into the next question here today. Palak getting 100 on that one. So 2 of them on 100 apiece. Too early to tell anything. As we move to the next one, on your screens, here it comes. This is an important organization engaged in mining and processing of mineral sands. It is a company that is called IREL in India with a joint ownership under Travancore and the Government of India. What is this entity into, or what does IREL stand for? Or what does RE stand for? The I is Indian, L is limited, that's workable. Palak is on the buzzer. He's taking a chance. Yes.
Is this renewable energy?
Renewable energy will give him a minus. And he goes back to where he started. The answer is rare earth. It's a company from India which really works on pulling out titanium, zirconium, thorium, all of those for our country. And there's a very strong involvement from Kerala in that. As we go to the fourth one, hands on the buzzer, questions to you. Here it comes. She was the first baby to be featured on their labels. Stephen has gone for it.
I'm guessing this is the Gerber baby.
Minus 100 to you. Minus 100 and Gerber. You should have waited for me. The answer after a long question would have been Johnson's baby powder. Well, the Johnson baby, as in the Johnson baby powder, and a minus to Stephen. As we go to the next one, hands on the buzzer. Here it comes. What was so special about this soap created by the Godrej company called Chavi? Rhythm has gone for it.
I'll say these were the first soaps that did not have animal fat. They were made out of vegetable fat.
Very well played. He'll get himself 100 on that. Absolutely right. Vegetable oil started becoming an ingredient for soaps. Godrej was the one which innovated and came up with that solution. So we go to the final one. Early days in this quiz. Everyone's looking good. As we start with the final question, First Frontier on your screens now. What was founded by the Stanford University Research Professor Unit, Saurav's on it,
Audacity.
is correct. He'll get himself 100 on that. Everyone's moving early days in a quiz like this, but I tell you what, we'll take a look at the scores on the other side of my audience questions. I've got a couple of audience questions coming up for all of you watching this quiz on the internet. What you will do is, wherever you're watching this quiz, just text your answer into that text box. It doesn't matter which social platform you're on. The text box is what matters to you. You could win prizes if you are among the first to get the answers right. Here's the first one for you in the audience as the Kerala cluster waits for us to get back. Multiple intelligences is a famous theory, and it's a theory that was documented and popularized by a great thinker from Harvard University. All you got to tell me is his name, or who's the father of multiple intelligences. So, if you're going around there typing your answer, here's the second one coming to you. Well, born on the 4th, I'm not sure of June or July, so born on the 4th of a month in 1946. I think July, I'm not too sure. He initially studied engineering. He is a Padma Bhushan recipient in our country. He was the son of a person named Harikatha, and his mother's name was Shambhamurthy. This person went on to become a legendary singer in India, singing in almost every South Indian language and Hindi and many more. India lost this great singer in 2020. All you got to text is which great singer is this. So we'll get back to our contestants here from the Kerala cluster. First up, take a look at Crucible Quotient as it comes up on your screen. Leading this quiz with 100 apiece, no one literally reading, is Naman, Rhythm and Saurav. Behind them are the rest, and I don't think it's really going to matter much at this moment as a scoreboard. The second frontier could make a big difference on who gets sharper amongst the rest. Quite literally, as we move into the second frontier, it's time for us to play sharper. Here it comes. On the second frontier, I've got a good 12 questions for you to play around with as we start with the first one on your screens now. Which Tata company would you associate to these? Palak Kumar has gone for it. Grand Coffee, go ahead. Your mic is on mute, Palak. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Palak Kumar having an internet issue there, so we will not take this as a question. So we'll have one question less in the Kerala edition. And we'll move on to the next one, hands on the buzzer. And we'll just test your buzzer as well. Palak, if you could buzz once. All right, great. The buzzer is working perfectly all right. All right, can we clear the buzzers? And get ready for the next question. Hands on the buzzer. Questions on your screen. Here's the next one coming now. This is called a diamond theory. It's named after a great management thinker. Rhythm's going for it. Yes, Rhythm.
This is Michael Porter's diamond framework.
Absolutely well played. He gets himself 100 and that takes him to 200. Rhythm on to 200. As we go to the next question. Hands on the buzzer. Question again on screen. Now. He co-founded BuzzFeed in 2006. Steven's gone for it.
This is Jonah Peretti.
Well played on that. He'll get himself 100 is Steven. And the battle's really going to get tight here as Steven gets back on that negative that he had got. As we go to the next one. All hands on the buzzer. Here's the next one. Now. Which Tata entity would you associate to owning all these? Yes, Palak.
So, yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, so this is basically West Side, which is owned by Trent. All of these are brands by West Side.
100 to you. He's got that absolutely right this time around and takes himself to the first 100 on the positive for himself. He did one earlier and then got a negative. Now he's back in the positive. Here's the next question. Overall answer is what matters on your screen. Careful. It's a logic that you need to give me. Here it comes. All these people have something specifically as a tribute to them. From the world of science, Saurav's giving it a shot. Yes, Saurav.
Basically, they have atomic symbols named after named after them.
Like
Basically that in the periodic table they have their names.
Would you know any of them?
Neil Bohr, Rutherford.
Right. He certainly seems to know them. Rutherfordium, borium. I can see Enrico Fermi, so that must be fermium. Well, I did science long ago, so let me not push myself beyond that. But he gets himself an absolutely correct answer and he gets himself 100. As we go to the next one on your screens, hands on the buzzer. Here it comes. This is an extremely important person who gave a very important theory. The theory created by Douglas became a very important. Palak has gone for it.
Okay, so this is Theory X and Theory Y. Douglas McGregor.
Well played. Oh, Douglas McGregor is absolutely correct. Palak getting 100 there on Douglas McGregor as we go to the next question of our final here today from Kerala. On your screens, here's the next one. What was founded by this man and has become a huge retail giant across South India, largely headquartered and based out of Thrissur from Kerala? Shubham's gone for it. Yeah, Shubham.
Okay, so out of Thrissur.
Okay, did he just buzz a little early?
Yes.
5 seconds of time lapsing on that one. Hard luck to you. And the answer that I was looking for is... No, the answer I was looking for is Joe's Alukas. All over Kerala is Joe's Alukas, and now invading the rest of South India and India are the gold vendors from Kerala. Tough one for you as we go to the next one on your screen. Here it comes. Identify the famous author. Palak Kumar has gone for it.
So this person, his name is McCormack.
Will give you a minus. Well, Mark Mason or Manson is the answer that I was looking for, and not Mark McCormack. A minus 100 to Palak. Rush of blood from him, I would reckon, as he takes a negative on that one. As we move on to the next one, hands on that buzzer. Here's your question on your screen now. All these are part of now what is known as a wellness outfit. Yes, go ahead. From pharma to wellness. Palak.
So this is part of Heinz.
Will give you a minus again. Palak taking his chances, but not quite getting it right. The answer is Zydus. Zydus is now called Zydus Wellness. And that gives Palak another negative from 200. He's gone back to 0. So he's putting a lot of pressure on himself as we go to the next one on screen now. A Nerdle was involved in a marketing lawsuit between Colgate-Palmolive and GlaxoSmithKline. Where would you find a Nerdle every day? What's a nurdle? Palak Kumar, Colgate versus Glaxo. Every day we see a nurdle. Where?
So, sir, this is basically the cap. So when the toothpaste, you have the toothpaste. So when you open the toothpaste, the silver lining on if it's a fresh toothpaste, that thing is the nodal. I mean
If it's a fresh toothpaste?
No, not a fresh toothpaste. The cap that's called a nodal.
We'll give you another -100. He took his chances. I think that was a half chance answer. Well, if you look at the shape in the way in which nurdle was written, that's a good clue for yourself. What you actually press out of your toothpaste every day and what comes on your toothbrush, look at the shape of it, that is called a nurdle. So they said you can't take a copyright to a term like that. And Colgate and GlaxoSmithKline went to courts on that to fight over a simple nurdle that all of us use in the morning to brush our teeth. As we move to the next one, hands on that buzzer. Palak moves to a -100. Everyone's watching on close scores here today, so it's like a marathon from Kerala. Here's the next one coming up now. He's a famous legend from the Tata world. As a senior statesman of the Tata Group, he passed away in 2020 after leading. Palak has gone for it.
This is FC Kohli.
Well answered. Very well answered. He'll get himself 100. Beautiful answer. Not an easy question to crack from that photograph. From his early days is Fakir Chand Kohli, a great legend, the father of Indian IT in many ways. Palak gets back to nil with that answer because he had gone down to -100. Going on to the next one, hands on the buzzer. Here's the final one in this frontier coming up on your screens now. It's a famous sweet shop that moved. Oh, Stephen's gone for it.
I believe this is K.C. Das.
Oh, beautifully played. Beautifully played from West Bengal to Karnataka. Extremely well played by Stephen. He gets a crucial 100 at a moment when he perhaps would have wanted it most. Superbly played. We're going to take another audience question, and on the other side, I'll tell you where these teams stand or where these contestants stand, because after that, we're going to have the final frontier of the Kerala cluster here today. Superb final. Everyone's in with a chance. Here's an audience question for those of you who are watching this riveting final. I am a novel. I went on to become a famous film. I was written by R.K. Narayan while he was actually visiting the United States sometime in the 1950s on a Rockefeller Fellowship. What is this novel turned film that I'm talking about? Key in your answers and you stand to win yourself a prize. R.K. Narayan to India's Bollywood. As we get back to our contestants in the Kerala cluster here today, what a final. We'll take a look at Crucible Quotient. Here it comes. It's a battle royal. Anybody can win it because no one's really run away with it. It's a scoreboard which is extremely difficult to describe. On 100 are two of them, which is Naman and Rhythm. No, Raman and Stephen. Rhythm and Saurav are on 200 apiece, so they've not run away with it either. 6 final questions to go. So Palak is on nil, but he was on 200. So he's lost out on ground and he'll have a lot of work to do with Shubham. But all the other 4 have a very fair chance at this moment here today. As we move into the final frontier, time to think smarter. Here it comes. On the final frontier of this quiz, you've got 6 questions with the same scoring points, but nothing appears on your screen. So what you got to do is remember that you can play smarter and outthink the other 5 who you're playing with. In doing so, you can press the buzzer while I am still reading a question, stop me from reading the question, and outthink the others and take a shot at the answer. The risk you run is in trying to be smarter. You could take a negative because I may not have completed the question in its entirety. So if you are ready, Two of them on 200. They're going to be watching this very closely for the first couple of questions because 200 is a good position to be in. Stephen and Naman will look at getting one in somewhere and then play out the last couple of questions. The others will really have to think what they want to do. You can stop me. Hands on the buzzer. You just have to hear me out. Nothing appears on your screen. If you're ready, starting with the first one. In his book, roughly in 2013-14, titled 0 to 1, Palak Kumar.
So this is Peter Thiel.
Outstanding. Oh, what a comeback that is. That is quite literally 0 to 100 in this context on a book called 0 to 1. So Palak now on 100, Stephen on 100, Naman on 100, Rhythm on 200, Saurav on 200. Oh boy, what a final this is. It's turning out to be an absolute cliffhanger. Here's the next one. Hands on the buzzer. The government of India established its first national family planning program in the 1950s. Kerala had abundant rubber and it became a natural choice for setting up a company in Kerala. Palak Kumar is going for it.
Or I'm guessing Harrison's Malayalam.
Will give you a -100. Oh, he's playing it out of his skin. The answer is Hindustan Latex, which gave India Nirod contraceptives in those days. And a -100 to you on that as we go to the third one. Hands on the buzzer. Questions don't come on your screen. Here we go. My name is Kalanick. I sold a content delivery company. Palak Kumar.
Sir, this is Uber, Travis Kalanick.
Superb. Oh boy, every time he gets a negative, he bounces back with a positive. He's not giving up here today. 3 questions to go. He's again on 100. Rhythm and Naman need one more. No, Rhythm and Saurav need one more somewhere. It's a tight fight here as we clear the buzzers and move into question number 4. All right, hands on the buzzer. Which was the only Indian princely state? Which was the only Indian princely state that was permitted to continue issuing its own currency notes after it was subjected to join the Dominion of India in 1948 and the Republic of India in 1950? So much so that these notes carried the affix OS, which stood for Osmania Sikha. Rhythm has gone for it.
Hyderabad, Osman, Hyderabad.
We'll give him 100. Oh, he's moved to a crucial 300. Here is Rhythm. Palak is on 100. Stephen is on 100. Saurav is closest to him from QSAT. Well, the 200 can also set people up for the runner-up position. So anything could happen in any form from here. As we go to the penultimate question, hands on that buzzer. It's a word that comes from a French word meaning dispatch of goods. Technically, in the modern world, it is used for a document that carries the value of the shipment that is made and is raised after every shipment is typically made to a customer. Palak Kumar.
Is this invoice?
Invoice. Oh, yeah. In the olden days, you would put whatever was given invoice into a voice, and therefore an invoice was created, French word meaning dispatch of goods, +100. Oh boy, what a scorecard. Rhythm on 300, Stephen on 100, Palak on 200, Saurav on 200, Naman on 100. We've not had a final like this before. Superb Tata Crucible coming in from Kerala. Rhythm will watch the last question very carefully. He's on the nick of going into the top 24 of this country. But 2 of them are trying to chase him down, Saurav and Palak. Final question from the Kerala cluster of Tata Crucible. 2 of them trying to chase down Rhythm from IIM Kozhikode. Here is the final question. Maria Sharapova technically endorsed an Indian car brand at a point in time. Palak Kumar has gone for it. Maria Sharapova technically technically endorsed an Indian car brand at a point in time?
Yes,
Tricky,
sir.
but a workable. Yes, go ahead.
So the answer is Tata.
I need a
Tata-
specific. Go on.
Yeah, so this is Tata Safari.
Tata Safari is your answer. Ladies and
Yes.
gentlemen, the Kerala cluster will see Rhythm qualifying into the top 24. Oh, look at that joy. He's played it well. He's got it on a 300. Palak takes a negative. He went for the final question. Well, Maria Sharapova endorsed Jaguar Land Rover, which is why I said technically endorsed, because when she endorsed it, it would not have been a Tata brand. So I framed the question very carefully for a last one. Palak Kumar battling with technology and the questions. Hard luck for him here today. He's an outstanding quizzer. Saurav really playing it out cool, calm, like a typical Kerala quizzer would. Get 200, sit back, make money and say, well, I don't want to get into all this rat race. I'm happy getting my money. It's really nice. But at the end of the day, Rhythm played a very mature game. He got his scores. He was quick when he needed to score, and that is important. And when he scored really right. So playing the game out extremely well. Rhythm from IIM Kozhikode will carry the IIM Kozhikode flag forward. And as a new champion from his institute, he will represent them in the next frontier, which is the top 24 of our country. So ladies and gentlemen, on back-to-back clusters that you have witnessed, you see the emergence of the IIMs happening. IIM from Bangalore winning, and now IIM from Kozhikode winning after the Andhra and Telangana rounds. Karnataka and Kerala have both gone IIM's way. But ladies and gentlemen, for the moment, it is time for me, and it is indeed my pleasure, to bring to all of us one gentleman who loves his own quizzing, who loves youngsters learning through these out-of-the-box means such as quizzing. He's been a strong patron and a follower of all the quiz shows that happen in Kerala. In fact, it was on his insistence that Kerala started getting multiple cities of Tata Crucible, especially for the campus edition, which at a point in time became 3 between Kozhikode, Cochin and Trivandrum. And he is a young leader from the Tata fraternity, traveled all over the world, has seen many quizzes with us in Kerala and otherwise. He is the head of Tata Consultancy Services across Kerala, a very senior member of the technology fraternity from Kerala itself, not just TCS, and a voice of technology from Kerala. Ladies and gentlemen, it's our pleasure and privilege to welcome and introduce to you our guest of honor, Mr. Dinesh Thampi. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. Wonderful to have you at yet another quiz.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Giri. Good to see you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Let me first start with a simple question for you, which I think a lot of these youngsters would benefit from or profit from. While the Tatas are known to show their commitment, whether it's a quiz or whether it is anything that life needs to continue, as a senior member of leadership, these have been very difficult times. And these are youngsters who are definitely going to face such difficult times in their lifetimes, maybe more times than we have, because the world is only getting far more dynamic and complex. What's your advice to them in a scenario like this? What's the learning out of a 2020, sir?
Okay. Yeah, thanks, Giri, for that question. First of all, congratulations to all the participants and the winners, and thanks for once again inviting me for this great event. To answer the question, I think, anyway, 2020, as we all know, it's like very much an unprecedented year. And in fact, like I normally in my conversations call it like as a DC and an AC era. It's before COVID, during COVID, and after COVID, maybe being from the electrical engineering background. But then the thing is like, yeah, it is very tough. In fact, like in my own leadership discussions, everything, the technology, the domain, a lot of things are moving very fast. In fact, like the digital acceleration, transformation is getting accelerated. But one thing we should focus on, it's in this difficult times, everybody is looking for like somebody for support. So basically, to ensure that whether it's your team member, family, neighbor, whomever it is, like whatever support can be extended, that has to be given. We should empathize to the people and to make them work together. That itself, especially in this current virtual, online, work from home, whatever we call it. The way in which we are currently working, that is one thing which everybody has to be fully focused on, to ensure that you work with the team, empathize with them, listen to them, understand them, and take them forward. So that is one thing. And wherever possible, in fact, we from between Kochi and Trivandrum, in fact, our own associates have done a lot of things during this COVID time for the community also. So that is like, and in fact, the frontline workers, policemen, health workers, hospitals, NGOs. So we did a lot. So that is one thing I think we should keep in front of us in this fast-paced era.
Thank you so much, sir. Truly appreciate you taking time off on a Saturday for a Tata Crucible and to join us from Kerala in an outstanding final. I mean, the closest final that we have witnessed so far. But then we're used to it normally because winners from Kerala do tend to go even into a national final. Whether it's school or college, it's a very good quizzing country, if you would call it in the typical sense of God's own country. They do produce good quizzers, and with a lot of IIMs here today and QSAT and Newells, so the best universities and colleges that Kerala would give the country. It was bound to be a wonderful final. But we'll ask you to just stand by for the digital prizes to be given away to our runner-up here today from QSAT. 18,000 to Saurav. Congratulations to you, Saurav. He really played the game well, got his answers in crucial moments, and that gets him an award of 18,000 rupees at a Tata Crucible, but more importantly, a runner-up title. But moving into the top 24 of this country, into the zonals, Rhythm from Indian Institute of Management, Kozhikode. Extremely well played young man, deserving 35,000 to him as he wins the final and moves into the next frontier. Extremely well done. Congratulations to you, Rhythm. And sir, thank you so much for joining us. We wish you and your entire team the best and look forward to being at Kerala. It was one of those rare paid holidays that we used to get to come and visit Kerala, assuming that we were doing work when we did our quiz shows. But we loved coming to Kerala. We wish we can be back very soon, and I presume we would.
Yeah, sure. Looking forward for that, Giri. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank
Truly
you.
appreciate you tuning in. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Bye.
Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, after that remarkable final that we witnessed here, what a finale at the end of the day, with a young man finishing runner-up, Saurav from QSAT, but Rhythm from IIM Kozhikode will march into the top 24. To all of you who've been watching this and appreciating this entire series, we will be back with you with the next cluster, another exciting one from another neighboring state, Tamil Nadu. But till then, from me, Pig Brain, from all of us at Team Tata Crucible, you were watching the campus edition from the Kerala cluster. Till we meet again, take care, goodbye.